All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. You already know what we're about here. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on the time of day. Great to see you. Great that you're here. Happy that you're here. Happy that you're here. Good, you're back. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me just get everything. Make sure we get everything good. Facebook, we live on Facebook. Let's get after it. Just check YouTube real quick and then we'll get this party started. We'll get the party started. You see what we're talking about. We're making our offers complimentary today. Learning all about the process in which you make your offers complimentary. These are important lessons, evergreen lessons as always here. Evergreen material. Pride ourselves on creating evergreen material. It's 2025 when I'm recording this. This will be relevant in 3025 when I'm recording this. All right, let's set everything up. Let me get it all set up here. All right, good morning, good afternoon. Again, whatever time of day you may be consuming this, great to have you, great that you're here. Let me just introduce myself to anybody that may be new to me, new to this channel, new to what we're all about. My name, it is Aswan Crookshank. I am your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, former Division I college football player, and current five-time, very soon to be six-time published author and educator. I created this whole system, this whole brand, this whole concept, this whole way of life that's all about taking the innovative teamwork lessons that you learn on the football field and aligning them with businesses and business owners so they have a staff and a group of employees that moves as efficiently and has that same passion, has that same drive, has that same hunger as a championship youth or high school football team. That is what we do in a nutshell here. And this week, all week, we're talking about how many things you can offer. Today, another Top 5 Tuesday, where I'll be breaking down the top 5 ways to make your offers complimentary. All right, just to give you a little bit of a preview of what we're going to be discussing. I will be unpacking an absolutely unbelievable, incredible, unforgettable trip. First ever game that I've gone to for the Miami Marlins. I've been to Lone Depot Park, but it was the first time I've ever been there for an actual Marlins game. And it was absolutely an eye-opening experience, as I kind of talked to you guys a little bit about yesterday. The person that invited me happened to be the one that threw out the honorary first pitch. So we got the royal treatment, food, VIP, whatever it is we needed. I was all set. So got on the field, got to meet some people. It was a great time. And being a football guy, again, being a person that is in the football world, it was incredibly eye-opening for me to see what the Miami Marlins Stadium has built and what they represent to the Miami community in the terms of the local community. Again, I was looking at it from a national perspective as a football guy, and I just knew this was the stadium that they replaced the Orange Bowl with. And, my favorite players like myself, like Ed Reed and Sean Taylor, the school that they went to, and Ray Lewis, the school that they went to was not as good of a school, or they weren't producing the way they used to produce because this stadium was here. And I learned differently that in terms of just serving the Miami community, it's a completely different conversation. So we'll be unpacking all of that today as we get into our lessons, as we get into all of the material. Before we go any further, however, let me just get through a couple of announcements here, and then we'll get it going. We'll get it going like we normally do. First and foremost, as a business owner, like I mentioned in the intro, if you have not yet, I need you to go to freeguide.makeyourmove.com. Very, very easy. Take you maybe 5 seconds to put your name, number, and an email there for you. so you can receive the very easy to understand 10-step guide that I created in order to make it so your staff has a little more efficiency, your business has more efficiency, and just using that one thing is going to reduce the turnover. It's going to at least start to reduce the turnover. I'm not going to say it's going to completely do it, but it's at least going to get you moving in the right direction, because we work from a very, 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 very simple formula here. It is, number one, you establish those measurables. Again, the promise here is that you have a staff that moves like a championship high school or youth football team, and those measurables are very, very clear during practice. Again, I can't talk about this kind of stuff if I didn't live in it, if I didn't play it my damn self, all right, if I wasn't a part of it my damn self. When you have a championship level type of a team, every single day there's measurables. There's an expectation that players need to be where they are during this play, during that play. By the time we get to midseason, everybody knows the plays, everybody knows where they need to be, everybody knows the game plan, to the point where now it's like second nature. They know exactly where they need to be, why they need to be there, and what's going on, what's the expectation of them on every single play. All right, that's number one. Second thing is you have to establish a professional distance. So once there's the measurables established, then there's a professional distance, and then and only then will it lead to the productive environment. That productive environment will come in the results of execution on game days. All right. Difference between what's going on in the football field and what's happening at work is every day is game day. Every day has to be game day. So this formula needs to be expedited in some way, shape, form, or fashion, to where measurables, distance, productive environment. Every single day is game day. Every single day is game day. That's the difference between the working world and the youth and high school football world, right? Every day is game day. You don't get to just chill and hang. Every single day is game day. So you want that formula. You need to make sure you get that formula in your system and book a meeting with me, however you want to do it. Now, also make sure you put your information there. There's some things that happen. There's some things that happened just yesterday. I can't share it yet because it's not official, but just know the boxing lessons are back, folks. The boxing lessons are back. Jab, cross, uppercut, hook, jab, cross, jab, cross, jab, cross, jab, cross. They're back, folks. I'm back at it. I'm back in business with the boxing classes. All right. If you are interested, whether it's for yourself, whether it's a young athlete coming up. In fact, just yesterday, I was teaching a kid. It was a kid coming in for his, I believe it was like his first boxing. I'm not going to reveal too much here, but he was giving me excuses, man. I started a basketball game. I can't do this. And you know what I told him? I said, okay, learn the jab, because the jab is the jab that you're learning is the same as taking a jab step in basketball. So you're taking that jab, you get the ball, you take the jab, trying to control. All of that. I have all of that written right here. See, all of this stuff is written right here on Make Your Move. Make Your Move. Hey, you can get into boxing, dance, and entrepreneurship. I have all of this. I'm ready. I stay ready. This is what I do. I'm gonna give you just a snippet of what I'm all about, and then we'll continue with today's lesson. Cute. Come on and get it. Go on, get it. Go on, get it. You see that? These are brand new boxes, brand new people. Jab, look at that. Jab, jab, jab. See, a little line in his feet, cross, jab, cross, jab, cross. See that? This is what we're doing, and we got somebody else. This is the thing. These are the things I've learned over time. And again, I said all that I would not be in education had it not been for somebody who was working at a learning center, seeing me do stuff like this at a park, and then contacting me to become an educator. That's how it works. It's what can you do? What's being put out there? All right. So this will be you. Again, just sign up right here. Put your information in, and you will be contacted. All right. Now, if you like the energy, if you like what I'm all about, if you like everything going on, and you just say, look, bump all the free stuff, man, and let's just get this party started. I love those folks too. I love those folks too. All right. All you got to do is go to makeyourmove.com, click shop now. You can purchase the books. This thing would actually load up. There we go. You can purchase the books. You can ask about a workshop. You can purchase the boxing lessons. You get your entrepreneur tee. You just do all the research that you need to do on me. It is all right here on makeyourmove.com. Let me just read it real quick, and then we'll get into today's article. Turn your business into a championship team. It is common knowledge that the best way to win in business or in life is by avoiding ways to lose. Whether you've just started a new business or you've been in business for quite some time, there is no getting around the need to hire or outsource certain elements of your organization. So things can run as efficiently as possible. When you book your meeting with Aswan, he'll diagnose what the issues are with your current system and then strategically create a system in which will lead to a reduced amount of turnover or a clear understanding of the parts of your business that need to be outsourced. Again, remember that last sentence, that last two sentences, create a system in which will lead to a reduced amount of turnover or a clear understanding of the parts of your business that need to be outsourced. Very distinct things. We are in an AI revolution. It's here, folks. And you got to know what needs to be outsourced and what doesn't need to be outsourced. There needs to be someone coming in, diagnosing what you're all about, what your business is all about, in order for you to do that. All right. So now that we got through all of the announcements, let's get into what we're going to be discussing today. The top 5 ways to make your offers complementary. All right, folks, complementary. And again, I sort of gave you a little bit of a preview before I started on today's announcements, but I'll give you more of a preview. All right. Experience. When you are in the business of serving folks. In fact, I'll break it down like this when it comes to how I decided or what happened when I went to this Marlins game. All right, the first Marlins game I've ever been to. And again, that guy right there, shout out to my guy Richard, man. That's my guy now. That's my guy. It's my boy now. So, he had the VIP chair. It was funny because as soon as we get there, he's parking valet, and he tells me this is like a second home to me, man. This is what I do. This Lone Depot Park. This me. You're my house. This is my real house. The house we just left, I kind of just rent. I just kind of sleep there, but the real house is slow. Because I just gotta sleep. I gotta sleep there. But home is right here in Lone Depot Park, this is where I like to reside. I get my head right. I watch the boys and do my thing. So anyway, we're there, and he told me the night before. He goes, "Look, man, eat a light breakfast because whatever you want, food wise, all that stuff, they gonna hook you up. You're gonna be straight." So I get there, and one of the things that sticks out to me, because I used to work for the Miami Dolphins Foundation, so I met a lot of people that work in these stadiums, work at Hard Rock Stadium. Even when I was doing the training with Positive Coaching Alliance, I met a ton of people that were doing. There was a campaign that we actually ran with the Marlins, and I remember they had a person do a photo shoot at one of my workshops, and the person who ran the foundation was doing some marketing stuff, all sorts of things I've done like front office wise with the Marlins, but I never actually went to a game. So the thing that what happened was there was a guy who was walking around. And he was just introducing himself to people. I won't forget that, because even though we're eating our buffet, we're eating the food, and we're kind of catching up with friends, and we're there having a good time, he made sure every single person that was sitting down, he comes by and he just introduces himself. "Hey, my name is so-and-so. Hope you enjoy the game." And then I remember making that point. I remember telling them that. He goes, "Hey, man, somebody comes into your house, you got to greet them. You got to do something. You got to make sure you take your job." So from jump, I knew it was going to be a great experience, because you got to start doing your job with this. You can't walk around just complaining about what you do. It just is not becoming. It's not something that people want to be around. It is not something that inspires people. It is not something that's going to be at all conducive to the growth and development of a business, folks, of a business. So that right there is what started off an unbelievable experience. All right, so let's get into the article, because the big takeaway, and it was mentioned over and over when me and Richard actually sat down to watch the game. One of the things that kept getting mentioned over and over through our conversation was, here we go again. How many things can you offer? Because you could tell that he was wrestled with the decision on if he was going to pay for, the VIP tickets with the Marlins, or if he was going to do it with the Dolphins, or if he was going to do it with you can tell that he had done his research in terms of what organization he was going to decide to roll with, and the Marlins were that organization. So that's a key point as well. So let's get into the article now. So Top 5 Tuesday. So my podcast listeners, I am reading directly from the article on medium.com. And by the way, Medium followers, I'm getting there. I'm 50% through. I'm there. I'm so close to getting through book number 6, at least getting through the point where I can get it out for pre-orders. If you are following me on Medium, I have some special deals, some special discounts for you on this new book about how to be a wintrepreneur. If you don't know what that means, we'll dive deeper into that tomorrow. Again, follow me on medium.com at MoveSwiftly44. All right. So Top 5 Tuesday, how to make your offers complimentary. All right. You should already know what day it is, because if you hear top 5, then it can only be one thing. Tuesday. For over a year here in the Move Swiftly sports marketing platform, every Tuesday has been a breakdown of 5 tactical evergreen lessons. These aren't hot takes always. These are principles you can revisit years from now and still apply. This week's theme: how to make your offers complimentary, as in a cheeseburger and fries, or wait, nope. Let's go with something more in line with my background. How about a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? So, all right, quick story on that. Really quick story on that. So I write all my articles. I mean, I'll use ChatGPT to help me like with proofreading and maybe say, just get some fresh eyes on what it is I wrote. But I actually sit down and write them still. It's still something that centers me. It helps me when it comes to communicating publicly and developing as a speaker and stuff like that, right? So as I sit down and write, I'm always thinking about the things I used to do, like in the past, some of the tactics, some of the many ways that I tried to get on or just tried to be productive and all that. And as I'm writing, I'm thinking about how to make my offers complimentary, and knowing that I'm like this guy that has a background in fitness, I would never recommend a cheeseburger and fries. As good as tasty as it actually is to have a cheeseburger. In fact, I actually did eat it. I mean, he got us all cheeseburgers and fries when we were at the game, but it's not something I'm going to publicly put out there. And the reason I went with the peanut butter and jelly sandwich is because I remember when I was 19 and I was working it was my first gym I was ever working at, Washington Sports Club. And every single morning I would make me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I go work out, and then I leave the PB&J in the locker, and then I eat it right after the workout. And there were several guys that would see me in the locker room, and they would notice that. And it sparked up a conversation, because he'd be like, man, sometimes instead of getting that protein shake, sometimes you just got to go with the natural peanut butter and jelly. And he noticed that, and I'll never forget, because we ended up having a conversation. I was telling him, I'm on my way to Stony Brook. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and letting him know what I'm studying. He goes, that's a good field. And these are the things that like sparking conversation is so absolutely important. You know what I'm going to do? That might be next week's topic, or that might be a topic. I already have next week's topic in mind, but I might have to hold up, guys. Give me a second. Now you guys get to see why I'm coming up. So we got sparking conversation. That might be a topic. Okay. Sparking a conversation. Yes. Now you guys see, this is what we do. We don't stop. Can't stop. Won't stop. Can't stop. Won't stop. All right. Let's get back into the article. Let's get back into the media coffee first. Okay. How about a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Because as someone with a fitness coaching foundation, boxing, boot camps, and athlete development, I'm always thinking about how we condition the mind and the body to move swiftly. Let's break down the top 5 moves that'll help align your offerings so they enhance each other and not compete. All right. So number 1, something I've said on multiple occasions on this channel: what does your audience want? Even if you don't have an audience right now, even if you are of the of the mindset, hey, I haven't built up a strong enough or a solid enough audience, that is totally fine. You got to ask yourself, what type of audience would you want? What kind of people would you want in your audience, and create the content for them. All right. This is key, because nobody, and I trust me, I get it. I mean, very few people actually tune into my lives as it is. So I understand the pushback on this one, where someone would say, oh, well, I don't have a lot of people in my audience. Totally fine. You have to develop the mindset of what the audience would look like in your business. And you have to keep them in mind with every single move that you make, because that is interchangeable. Your audience can change like that. All right. Your audience can change like that with the difference of the platform. In fact, I'll never forget. Remember there was a player back in, what year was this? This had to be like either 2010 or 2011. There was a player that played for the New York Knicks. His name was Jeremy Lin. His name was Jeremy Lin, and I'm gonna look him up right now, because I know if you were around that time and you're into basketball, you know that name. But his name was Jeremy Lin. All right, Jeremy Lin. Okay, Jeremy Lin had a very hot month or so, and the franchise he was playing for was the New York Knicks, to the point where the people started calling it Linsanity. Right? You see, he had a Sports Illustrated. He was on the Sports Illustrated, Time magazine. He was on the cover of Time magazine. It's just a basketball player that nobody knew his name. Nobody knew his name about maybe a couple of weeks ago, but a couple of weeks prior. But literally, in the matter of a couple weeks, his entire audience, his entire world changed, simply because he showed up on the basketball. He made a couple plays, and I said that he made a couple plays. He did some good things on the basketball court. And the franchise that he happened to be playing for was the New York Knicks, one of the most popular sports franchises in the entire world. So, they started calling it Linsanity and going crazy, and everyone's going crazy. He's doing some cool things. That's my point. I'm bringing all that up to say this. Your audience and who you serve and the people you serve, that can change really, really quickly. It can change really quickly. It's just a matter of you. It's a matter of you focusing and developing. The reason his audience changed so quickly is he's actually a halfway decent player. Of course, then before he ran out, well, I remember it was a nationally televised game, because I'm a Miami Heat fan. So it was a nationally televised game where they went up against the Heat. And I remember Norris Cole and Mario Chalmers and D Wade and them boys put the straps on that dude. I was like, all right, enough of this. Enough of this Linsanity stuff. We're going to end all this now. All right. So start with what your audience wants. All right. This is where it all begins. I'm reading directly from the article now, podcast listeners. This is where it all begins. Who are you serving? Right as I was about to roll out, right? If you go back to the beginning of the article, right as I was about to roll out with the cheeseburger and fries example, I caught myself, because my ideal audience, their discipline, their ambitions, they're growth minded. I work with educators seeking physical and mental development tools, business professionals building internal teams, athletes, and community leaders focused on performance and wellness. When I develop content or programs, I think about how each element supports that lifestyle. All right. Each element of everything I do, I think about how it supports that lifestyle. Those are the people that I want. So instead of making easy references that might land better for a mass audience, right? The mass audience will enjoy a cheeseburger and fries. I choose to align with those who value longevity, focus, and training. If your audience is health conscious and impact driven, your offers need to be too. All right. So number one, everything you do, content creation wise, putting it out there, marketing wise, it has to relate to the audience that you already have or the audience that you are planning on serving. All right. That needs to happen now. That needs to happen off jump. Number two, reduce the national distractions and focus on the local first. All right. Let's get real. National news, trends, and gossip are addictive, but they don't build sustainable businesses. I'm going to say that one again for the people in the back who may have missed it. All right. If you focusing on national, like trying to go national, trying to go corporate, understand the things that go viral and go nuclear, things that people talk about online all day, spend all their damn time talking about online, are gossip. All right, gossip and beef and fights and all a bunch of stuff that are not going to be sustainable to your, but have absolutely nothing to do with your business and how your business is going to grow. All right, so let's get real. National news, trends, and gossip are addictive, but they don't build sustainable business. A perfect example. This week's theme, the week of this theme, the way I came up with this topic came from Miami Marlins game I attended. As a diehard college football observer, I used to hold ill feelings about the Marlins Stadium replacing the Orange Bowl, a legendary venue for the Miami Hurricanes. But here's the truth, that was me reacting from a national mindset, not a local one. Local Miami residents love Lone Depot Park. It serves them in real time. Drama draws eyeballs, but community builds legacy. So when it comes to this, I'm gonna dive deeper into that, the pros and cons and the differences tomorrow in the Wintrepreneur Wednesday tomorrow. So I'll go on. So just know, number two, though, when it comes to your business, just know that you have to focus on your local community, the people that are locals to you, and serve them, and only focus on serving them. Because things go national, things go viral, things get bigger. It's because there's some sort of gossip and some sort of drama attached to it, which is, again, it's totally fine as long as the core and the foundation is built on something solid, and then it's ready. All right. Number three, think long-term sustainability. The University of Miami football hype in the 80s and early 2000s, iconic, flashy, full of swagger, but it didn't last. You want to know why the Orange Bowl was torn down and replaced by a baseball stadium? Because the long-term needs of the Miami community changed, and the Marlins brand provided a broader, more consistent solution. Unlike the Hurricanes football program, which rode national headlines and controversy, the Marlins and their stadium support year-round community program, cross-cultural connection with Latin America, scalable partnerships beyond sports. If you need context on what made the U a spectacle, check out the 30 for 30 documentaries, 30 for 30, the U 30 for 30 part 1 and part 2. They did two 30 for 30s on the U, all right? These documentaries show the rise and eventual fallout of a team built for headlines, not long-term community service. Your offering should follow the Marlins model. If one fades, another should rise up in alignment. That's real sustainability. Complementary equals durable plus mission aligned. Again, I will be deep diving on the difference of these things tomorrow on Wintrepreneur Wednesday. But just know, between 2 and 3, your local community, the folks that are your locals, and then is it going to sustain them long term? Because the majority of people that are just in the world are, living life, they're trying to build out their local community, trying to build a home and things of that nature. So if you focus on what's going to be beneficial to them, then things start to happen in a cohesive way. All right. Let's go to number 4. Can someone else pick it up and run with it? All right. So that kind of brings you to points of 2 and 3 as well. You have to let go. You have to let go. All right. I know it's the hardest thing to do in the world. Let me get some water. All right. You have to understand the power of letting go of your baby and letting go of your business and doing it in a way where you're going to be replaced. In fact, if you can recall, Magic Johnson, all right, a legendary name in the sports world. He was the VP for the Los Angeles Lakers for a period of time. And then out of nowhere, he decided that he was going to step down. He was going to step down as the Lakers VP. And when he went on First Take and explained why he decided to step down, he said it right there on the show where he was grooming, I believe it was Rob Pelinka. He was grooming Rob Pelinka whether it was Rob Pelinka or somebody else. Basically, he said he only planned on being there for 3 years. I believe it was either 3 or 5 years. I can't remember the number. But the long story short is Magic Johnson said he only planned on being there for a specific period of time, and then somebody else needed to take over it while he just does what he's saying, because he didn't want to see the Lakers. Excuse me. He didn't want to see the Lakers go down anymore. He was tired of seeing the Lakers just being at the bottom of the NBA. It was like, that's not the Lakers standard. He comes to the Lakers, and they end up signing LeBron. I believe it was like LeBron's first or second year. I can't even remember what year it was, but then he just out of nowhere stepped down and explained that it was about, hey, getting somebody else groomed up to take the position so Magic Johnson can go be Magic Johnson and run his businesses and things like that. So can someone else pick it up and run with it? Think beyond yourself. If you were to hand your entire business or brand to someone else tomorrow, could they learn it quickly? Could they teach it to someone else? If your offers don't have that built-in transferability, they aren't truly complementary. They're personality driven, and that's not scalable. Make your systems, services, and stories easy to adopt and adapt. Easy to adopt and adapt. Meaning, all right, do you have a system? Again, myself, I'm putting myself on trial here. This is something I had to learn. But now you see a system every single day in terms of what I can do, to where 10, 15 years down the line, I could plug somebody else into this system. Make Your Move Monday, Top 5 Tuesday, Wintrepreneur Wednesday, do a recap episode Thursday, Faith-Based Friday, Film Session Saturday, Stay Hired Sunday. 7 days of the week, something happening systematically that can teach somebody else how to just pick up where I left off. They can adapt it, and they can make it better, because the subject matter is going to be different. There's going to be different types of technology. There'll be different things going on in the world, different current events, different things that I can take and I can learn from other folks to plug into the system, and then the system eventually starts working harder than me. That's what we mean when we say plus LY. Lift yourself. Get better every single day. All right. Can you do that? This is big, because there's no guarantee. Nobody has any guarantee on when it's their time. And if you can't implement systems that are working harder than you, then you pass along with your business goes with you. That's the wrong approach. All right. Finally, number 5, stay flexible. You have to stay flexible. Again, something I had to learn the hard way. I had to learn it the hard way. You have to stay flexible. Do not get bought in to just one way of doing things. A lot of offers, a lot of things coming down the pipe, a lot of opportunities you can take, but you have to stay flexible. But 1 through 4 have to be done the right way. All right. So do the first 4 steps right, and this one becomes easy. When your offerings complement each other, you attract the right collaborators, you make smoother pivots, you build trust with your audience. Flexibility doesn't mean chasing trends. It means staying grounded in your mission while adjusting your methods. And trust me, when your community trusts your ecosystem, you can sell anything, because they're buying into you. Final word, prep for Wednesday. If today's list got you thinking, good. All right. It's got you thinking. That's a good thing, because tomorrow on Wintrepreneur Wednesday, we're going all in on the most symbolic example of a complementary versus competitive. The Orange Bowl versus the Marlins Stadium. Legacy versus longevity. Emotion versus opportunity. Let's keep moving. Let's keep building on this momentum, guys. Building on this momentum. So just to recap, we went top 5 Tuesday, top 5 ways to make your offers complement each other. One complements the next. All right. Very few people are going to go out and buy some peanut butter and not get the jelly. And then, oh, wait, I got to go get the bread to make the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. In fact, they started making it in 1/10. Let me see if I can find this real quick. Peanut butter and jelly in 1 jar. Yes, they started doing this. Yes, they started doing this. They actually started doing this. I've seen this. They just said, you know what? Why not just take the peanut butter and jelly and turn it into 1 jar? Why not? Right? Why not? It just makes sense, because you're getting peanut butter and jelly, and you never want to forget packaging. All right. Packaging. By the way, happy Amazon Prime Day. Don't spend too much of your money, guys, out there. All right. So just to recap, Number one, audience. Know what your audience wants, whether you have an audience or not. Imagine and figure out exactly what the audience would look like and serve them. Number two, reduce the national distractions. Focus on the local. Make sure you're focusing on what the locals are going to want, because those locals are going to lead you to number three, which is long-term sustainability. The national media and the national corporate stuff is all about gossip and drama and things to get clicks, things to go viral, and it can be entertaining, and I'm entertained by it in some stories, absolutely, but it's not going to lead to anything sustainable and solid. Number four, are you teaching it to somebody else? Can somebody else pick up what you have created, easily adopt it, easily adapt it, implement some systems so it constantly grows? And number five, stay flexible, folks. Stay flexible. Believe in your system, lay a solid foundation on your system, and then figure out what somebody else may be bringing to the table. You bring what you bring to the table, and then you guys go out and create magic. All right. So again, all that being said, the goal, I got it done. I'm working towards making sure these are only 35 minutes. I'm filtering myself. I'm getting what I got to get done out in 35 minutes. Again, main website to check out to dive deeper into all the work I'm doing. It is makeyourmove.com. That is makeyourmove.com. One-stop shop for your teamwork and your self-development needs. As one Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.